Joe Flacco is arguably a top 10 quarterback to ever play in the NFL and has won a Super Bowl MVP, and Comeback Player of the Year award. He crushed his rivals and defeated some of the greatest players to ever play the game. But somehow, many seem to think that Eli Manning is a better quarterback than Joe Flacco. It is only because he has won 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady, but if he had never won those Super Bowls, he would be grouped with guys like Matt Hasselbeck and Jake Delhomme, maybe even lower. In this video, I will explain why Joe Flacco is not only better than Eli Manning, but how he is leagues better than Eli Manning. First off, Joe Flacco has more playoff wins and better playoff stats than Eli Manning. Flacco, in the playoffs, has gone 10-6, throwing for 3,530 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 picks, while Eli Manning has gone 8-4. But the only times he won a playoff game were when he won the Super Bowl, where Flacco, besides this past year, has won at least one playoff game each season he qualified for the playoffs. And Eli's shaky numbers don't help his case, with 2,815 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, and throwing at a putrid 60.1 completion percentage. In the playoffs, Joe Flacco defeated some of the best teams and players, including Tom Brady twice, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Ben Roethlisberger, and the elite 2012 49ers defense. While Eli Manning did defeat Tom Brady twice, he faced rather weak teams heading into those matchups, and who he lost to was even more embarrassing. In Eli Manning's worst playoff losses, he lost to Jake Delhomme, Jeff Garcia, and a washed Donovan McNabb. But let's talk about the regular season, because it only gets worse for Eli Manning. Let's just start with the simple fact that Joe Flacco has 8 winning seasons and Eli Manning only has 7 winning seasons. And this fact is even worse for Manning, when he has played 236 games where Joe Flacco has only played 188 at the time of this video. So the fact that Eli Manning has played nearly 50 more games than Joe Flacco, and Flacco still has more winning seasons, shows that Eli Manning is not even close to the level of Joe Flacco. And another fact is that Eli Manning has a 50% winning percentage compared to Joe Flacco's 55.68%. This just adds to the point that Eli Manning was not clutch most of the time, and half the time, he just let his team down when it mattered the most. What might be even worse than that is his record against his interdivision rivals. It was once said by Aaron Hernandez that you have to do good against your divisional opponents to be a good NFL team. In Eli Manning's career, he has gone just 42-48 against the NFC East in his career. He went 10-23 against the Eagles, 13-17 against the Cowboys, and 19-10 against the Redskins, who were awful since Dan Snyder bought them in the 90s. Compare this to Joe Flacco, who went 37-27 versus the AFC North, going 18-3 against the Browns, 10-11 versus the Steelers, 9-12 versus the Bengals, and 0-1 versus the Ravens. This just confirms the fact that Eli Manning played a lot of games in his time, but never did a lot of winning, where Flacco played less games, but put up wins, stats, and excellence. In the end, instead of talking about why Eli Manning should be in the Hall of Fame for his 2 fluky Super Bowl wins, we should be talking about how Joe Flacco should be in the Hall of Fame, and we should be discussing why he is a borderline top 5 quarterback of all time, who was on level with players like John Elway and Joe Montana. Maybe even Tom Brady, but Flacco might need to do a little more to get on his level. But that'll be all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.